even if you added that 242 million minutes in and you cheated the Daredevil numbers and you got that number up to 600 million, it's still floating around the bottom half of the top 10, which is okay, but it's nothing spectacular. The problem is that Disney doesn't have anything that's really captivating audiences. And like we talk about all the time, the problem with Disney Plus is the fact that nobody goes to Disney Plus to see what's on. Nobody does.
Renegade Online.
Breaking news right here. Daredevil has made the chart. Not an hour ago, the last time I refreshed this, they had not updated this for the week. So let's stick with this. There we go. We told you last week Daredevil Born Again could not chart in the top 10. It had been out for 2 days and they had multiple episodes. In the third week, they dropped the third episode. So the second week, they dropped the third episode. And you can see the previous week, Daredevil didn't chart. It had 242 million minutes watched. We told you that wasn't even good enough to get up there. Look at 1923. Look at some of these other things out there. 1923 has roughly, what is that? 5 to 6 times at least the audience. And they're dropping one hour episode a week. Daredevil Born Again just managed to eke in to the top 10 with 387 million minutes watched, and that is with 3 episodes. That is day 3 through 7 of the first week, because it came out on a Tuesday. And as I always remind folks, Luminate measures television viewership habits starting at basically Friday at midnight and then goes all the way through the following week on Thursday at 11:59 p.m., which is a great way to measure streaming because the dominant force in streaming is Netflix. And when does Netflix typically release all of their new content? On a Friday. So they cover it from the weekend all the way through the following Thursday, which is the same way the numbers covers the weekly box office, because movies typically come out on Friday, right? So this makes a lot of sense. So Daredevil managed to eke in to the top 10 based on this. And I know it's deceptive because it looks like, well, the audience greatly improved. Well, it may or may not have, because again, the first week that this captured, the week before, going from February 28th through March 6th, only captured the first 2 days of Daredevil. Now, bear in mind that for most brand new Netflix movies, 2 days of capture is enough to put it in the top 3. Just to give you an idea. The top 3. And we're talking about, I said, a Netflix movie, not a new series, because series will binge drop with hours of available watch time, right? The reason why I compare the Disney stuff and other things to a Netflix movie is because if you get a Netflix movie that's out there that's at 90 minutes to 2 hours, it's roughly the same as your average Disney show premiere right now, because they drop 2 and 3 episodes up front to load the box like they do with Daredevil here. So, yeah, not good. Not a good look. Remember, this was one of the most popular shows on Netflix of its day. One of the biggest shows they had. And just as a lot of people expected, Disney bent over backwards to get this property back onto Disney Plus and make their own new Daredevil show out of it. It's probably not having the results that they had hoped. I think Disney obviously wanted this show to be far bigger than it turned out to be. It's just not there. 387 million minutes watched. And you consider it's got about the same number of episodes out there at this moment during this measurement period as 1923. Look where 1923 is. I know it's Yellowstone connected, but here's the reality. The same holds true for everything on Paramount Plus. If it's Landman, if it's Tulsa King, Mayors of Kingstown. There's so many shows out there. Look at the Prime Video shows. Look at Reacher. Reacher is off and running. Look at how much bigger that audience is. 2 to 3 times the size when you adjust for release dates. Because I think Reacher new episodes release on a Sunday. Like 1923 new episodes release on a Sunday. So to me, this is yikes. Even if you added that 242 million minutes in and you cheated the Daredevil numbers, and you got that number up to 600 million, it's still floating around the bottom half of the top 10, which is okay, but it's nothing spectacular. The problem is that Disney doesn't have anything that's really captivating audiences. And like we talk about all the time, the problem with Disney Plus is the fact that nobody goes to Disney Plus to see what's on. Nobody does. The only reason you turn on Disney Plus is if you have young kids in the house that want to watch Mickey Mouse and Bluey cartoons. But otherwise, if you're an adult, where do you go? You go to Netflix. You go into Netflix. You turn Netflix on to see what's there to watch. You go there to see what's to watch. You know, I see Tom out there. It's been 2 years since 1928. I think he meant 1923 debuted too. Well, yeah, but this is season 2. This is just season 2. And this is another thing that I really like about Illuminate is they break it down by season. Last week, I think 1923 was way up in the chart for even season 1 because people were going back and they're binging it. Oh, look at this one. The new Netflix movie Plankton. Renegade Jr. had that one on a few minutes ago. But we'll look through here because what I'm curious to see is one of the things I wanted to talk about is that Netflix, everybody's complaining about this Netflix movie, or the critics are complaining about this Netflix movie, The Electric State. I think they're giving it a little bit harder ride than it deserves. Talk about that in a second. But just to kind of prove to you that Netflix just kind of dominates, and I think one of the reasons that Hollywood is having such a terrible time in theaters is because they're just not producing that good of a content anymore on average that goes into theaters, which is killing the theaters. But here you have it. Like I said, that's really... I thought Daredevil might have peaked up a little bit more, but there are shows in here not connected to any major IP, obviously, that I've never heard of that are just kicking the pants off of Daredevil Born Again. So, yikes. There you have it.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.